And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe asking for his ideas on the things that you can be working on now to better prepare for your financial future. And theretirementkey.com is where you can go to start the conversation with Abe and his team at Abish Financial Services. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there as well. Or again, find us anytime at theretirementkey.com. So we're going to jump right in. I want to get right to this question because just doing some baseline knowledge information sharing. I was just talking about you and your team at Abish Financial Services, and we are still in Q1 of 2024. So maybe a lot of people are still working out that resolution they have for this year to finally get to work and get some help on their finances and their plans. So for somebody who is listening to you right now and perhaps shopping, if you will, for a financial advisor,
Right.
they might have some confusion on who they should be hiring, what they should be looking for, the questions they should be asking. Are there pitfalls that somebody, like red flags that somebody should watch out for before they decide on which advisor they want to go with?
Yeah, great question, Heather. Yes, absolutely. Some big things to look out for. So just going right through this article, if you're transitioning into retirement or in retirement, you should not be working with an advisor who is not a fiduciary. And really, you're not an advisor if you are not a fiduciary, meaning that most financial advisors are fiduciaries. Now, you could be working with a financial professional or interviewing a financial professional who is not duly licensed, who is not a fiduciary. Be careful of that. In other words, a good example would be if someone only offers annuities, that's not a fiduciary professional, a fiduciary advisor, right? Because that person cannot offer you anything other than an insurance product. They can't offer you anything in the market, real estate investments. They can't offer you anything but that fixed insurance product. Not a fiduciary. Fiduciary, Series 65 licensed, can offer you really anything in the market portfolio. If you think about what might be offered on a Charles Schwab or Fidelity platform, really they have access to everything, right? That's how we work. We are fiduciary retirement planners. We can offer anything in the market, anything out of the market in terms of working with insurance companies, banks, for insurance vehicles. Structured notes would be an example at a bank, and then anything offered on a major platform like Schwab or Fidelity. So we could truly say to the client, Heather, here is the entire menu. Like, we have the whole menu available. That's how it should be for a client. But based on everything you've told me about your situation, your needs, goals, objectives, risk, age, longevity, health, all of it, here's a plan we're recommending, and then let you choose, right? So be careful of a non-fiduciary financial advisor. Don't simply hire the first financial advisor you find. We always recommend getting a second opinion. If you have not yet gotten a second opinion, and maybe you're like, you know what, I wasn't in the market, Abe, for, looking at a second opinion on my advisor relationship. But now that you say it, I've been working with an advisor for 15, 20 years, and I don't know that they're giving me all the answers I need to hear to transition successfully into retirement. If that's the case, man, get a second opinion. If you're a successful do-it-yourself investor, you obviously know how to grow your money and accumulate it and invest. And sometimes we see people coming in doing puts and calls and options and all kinds of fancy investment strategies that can really work out well sometimes. Sometimes you can get burned as well. But those people that do them well, do the research and put in the time. You might be a great saver and investor, but you might not be a great distributor and a great, income planner. I mean, this is what we do full time, right? Don't partner with a firm whose strategy doesn't align with yours. If they're just talking to you about rate of return and investments and what you're making on your money, you're missing the boat entirely, because that's important, but that's not the sole plan, right? Don't forget to ask about credentials, about licensing, about designations, how long they've been in the business, looking at their records, and then finally make sure to understand the fees and how they're being charged and how they're getting paid from all avenues. And I'll add one more, Heather.
Yeah.
Look, having done this now for almost 2 decades and having been in this business for almost 2 decades, that's the retirement planning industry. We know who our competition is. We know the type of advice and planning that's being offered out there. And it's typically big box firms. Like, you're typically working with a firm that has millions of clients, where you're just a number typically with a major big box firm, or you might be working with a small, like 1-man, 2-man, 5-man, 7-man shop where if that one main advisor or those couple main advisors go down, they become disabled, they pass away or retire, the firm really doesn't exist anymore, right? Because you just kind of
Yep.
hired that one person's knowledge or that couple, those few people's knowledge. Well, we have a team now of approaching 25 people, and we're continuing to hire and grow. And so, we have plans to get up to 35, 45, 50 people here in the next few years. That is small enough to still be intimate with you and to know you well, but not big enough so that you're just a number. In my opinion, being biased, it's kind of a sweet spot. People want that hands-on care, love, and attention. They're not going to get at a major institution because you're one of millions of clients without all the risk of working with someone who's just doing it on their own, that one-man
Yeah.
shop. So
Got it.
hopefully that
That
helps
makes sense.
the listener right now. So
Yep.
we just had a gentleman come in and move all of their life savings, his life savings, from a major big box firm. If I said the name, everyone would know of it. One of the top national firms in the country. Great accumulation firm, known for accumulation, investing, and helping people to get to retirement, not known for helping people get through retirement. That's that difference between a phase one firm and a phase two firm. Has been working with this firm, Heather, for over 20 years. So it wasn't the easiest change for this gentleman. 20 years, helping them with his investments. He's getting one call a year from his advisor, nothing else. The firm's been reactive. This is normal for our industry. Comprehensive advice was lacking. He was looking for tax planning and much more, wasn't getting any of that except for maybe one check-in phone call per year. No RMD help. He's 70 years old, $1 million saved, approaching those RMDs, wanted long-term care and healthcare planning as well mixed into his plan. So those were all the problems. And he's like, you know what? I feel like something's missing. I'm looking for all these answers to my questions. I'm not getting them. Something's missing. Heard us here on the radio station and called in, and the rest is history. So the solution for this gentleman, Heather, as with so many people, is to move over to a phase two fiduciary retirement planning firm. Just because a firm helped you get to retirement doesn't mean they should be the same firm helping you get through retirement, because the planning is totally different. That doesn't mean that phase one plan is doing things in a wrong way or badly, or that they're giving bad advice. It's usually quite the opposite. That accumulation and growth focused advice was good advice for someone in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. But that advice usually shouldn't continue on 100% of the plan when someone gets to the point where they have enough money to retire with dignity and confidence. The conversation should be much more around, how do we protect this last 40 years of work? How do we preserve it? How do we distribute it? How do we handle RMDs, taxes, healthcare, market events, and all these things? And so, for this gentleman, actually, this gentleman had all of his money with this big box firm, and it was at Charles Schwab, just like we are. So we manage our monies there as well. And so the move for him was easy. If you're working with a Charles Schwab advisor, if you have money on the Charles Schwab platform, this is where we manage our clients' dollars as well. And so the money doesn't even move or leave, which is really nice. It just needs to change advisor firms. Simple move, easy, usually implemented within a few weeks, maybe a month or so. So if you sound like this gentleman from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and you say, you know what, Abe, I've got $1 million as well. I'm a middle of the road investor, but I've been working with a big box firm too. Or you know what, I've been doing it on my own. I don't know what I don't know. I do need help with all these areas you're mentioning. Go to our website, theretirementkey.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of that page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well, get you that complimentary second opinion with the full-blown retirement plan to you also.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there. That will take you to our website, which is, again, theretirementkey.com. All right, so when it comes to financial advice, we seek the help we're looking for. A lot of folks want to know more about Social Security because there's so many different ways to plan for that. That's just one path we have to figure out in our retirement. And we've been hearing more and more about Social Security, and it's going to have to cut benefits, some say by at least 20% within 10 years, if nothing is done to prop up its trust fund. Some in Congress are toying with an idea of Social Security being invested in the stock market instead of treasuries. And we actually had the chance to run that by David Dooley, co-founder of the Social Security Risk Score. And here's what he said.
Is there a way to direct some of that into an untouchable, more private market lockbox that can grow in value and become an asset to Americans? Maybe it's just a broad index fund. It's representative of America. No fees, can't touch. And if that person, God forbid, dies, it becomes an asset to that person's family. Because right now, if you take Social Security and you wait to age 70 and you're walking out of the Social Security office and you got your first check and you get hit by a bus, that $1 million you put in is gone.
What are your thoughts on these ideas?
That's a really good, interesting point.
Yeah.
Really good, interesting point. All I'll tell you is that changes need to be made. But the thing is, politicians will not touch the Social Security program until the last hour of the last day before something goes wrong with this program.
Yep.
Because people want to get elected, right?
I know.
And you talk about Social Security and changing it negatively, adversely, then you're not getting those votes. So like anything in this country, this can will probably get kicked down the road until the early 2030s, just less than 10 years away, where we likely will see problems, probably reduction in benefits. And so that's an option, a really interesting take on it, because he's right. You pass away quickly and you receive a couple years worth of checks, you really didn't get your money's worth, your money back from all those years putting into the system. Good example. We just had a lady come in, recent widow, 68-year-old lady coming out of Warrenton, Virginia, down there off of Route 29, $2 million saved, 7 on our risk scale. Again, recent widow, her husband just passed away within the last 6 months. And the reason why she came in, Heather, is because her husband managed everything. She had no idea what to do, although he was a great saver and put that money away and saved a couple $1 million for he and her, which was great. It was all at a big box firm, and now she's got decisions to make. Right? She's now doing it on her own, and she's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I want to come in and speak with you, Abe, and your team, and see what you can do here. So we found out all the money's at a big box firm, and she now has inherited RMDs due because her husband was over the age of 70, also has a Social Security decision to make. Should she be taking her own, or should she be taking her husband's benefit and then letting hers grow to 70? A lot of decisions. And you know what? If you're a recent widow, someone just recently passes away in your family, especially a spouse, you don't want to rush into a decision. So she took some time, had been listening to us for a long time, realized that we help a lot of people that pass away. We probably have anywhere from probably 5 to 20 clients that pass away every year. When you have, 11 to 1,200 clients or so.
Well, also it's just phase of life. I mean, you focus on retirement planning. It's just inevitable.
Pretty much only, exactly right. Yeah, we pretty much only work with people 55 and older. So obviously we start getting to our 70s and 80s and these things can happen. Yeah. So a lot of decisions that she never had to make before, right? Her husband was making all these decisions, how to invest the money, when to take Social Security, mandatory distributions that she's now faced with. So she really wanted a second opinion on the whole plan and really was looking to find a partner, if you will, that could just help her take over all this so she could go and live the retirement she wants to live with her children and everything like that. So second opinion on the whole plan, a Social Security action plan as well to help her determine what the best outcome for her was in regards to Social Security. So if you sound like this lady from Warrenton, Virginia, and you know what you say, Abe, I'm a recent widow as well, or maybe your spouse is still alive, but your spouse is kind of handling all the investments. You want to get more involved, find a firm that can really help take over if something did happen to your spouse. We see this all the time. Go to our website, theretirementkey.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to explore these conversations with you as well.
You can also find links. We've got those posted in the show notes. So just click there to go to our website, or again, visit us anytime at theretirementkey.com.